What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and want stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Necrowretch, entitled The Ones from Hell. This is released on Season of Mist. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of France, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very traditional, aggressive, blasphemous style of death metal. Yeah. Necrowretch, in my opinion, are one of the most consistent and one of the most reliable death metal bands to come out of France. This band has truly come a long way from where they first started to where they are now, and I honestly think this is a band that just keeps getting better and better and better with every single release that this band has done. Of course, getting acquainted with Necrowretch was the first thing I ever heard from them was their 2009 demo, Rising from Purulence. That was an absolutely insane demo. Of course, this band had put out other demos prior to and since then with their 2008 demo and Necro Collections. Just absolutely fantastic stuff. Very grimy, very gross, very straight to the point sort of death metal. But once we got some full-length material from this band, that's when we really knew what kind of potential this band would truly have. With their 2013 debut, Putrid Death Sorcery, then their follow-up with 2015's with Serpent Scourge. But then in 2017, we got what I figured at the time was their best release with Satanic Slavery. Going full bore into blasphemy was, I think, the best decision this band could possibly make because it honestly strengthened what kind of sound this band already had and made things a lot more crazier. I really love the sound, the quality, the performances, and the direction on that record, and it only made me curious to know what was going to come from Necrowretch next. Now that next step is in the form of their fourth full-length album entitled The Ones from Hell, which, by the way, kind of breaks the whole every 2-year thing that we've gotten with full length, so this is the longest time gap we've had to wait for a Necrowretch album since then. It's 8 tracks, and it clocks in at around 37 minutes in length, and like I said, I figured Satanic Slavery was the best thing I had heard from Necrowretch. Nah. This is their best work to date. This is, I mean, I've always taken a band like Necrowretch seriously, but this is the album that will make this will open the eyes and the ears of underground metal listeners for sure here, because there is a lot to love here with The Ones from Hell. From the minute you hear the opening moments of pure hellfire all the way throughout this album, you can already tell that Necrowretch has fully come into their own now. And The Ones from Hell, I think, is easily the best thing this band has ever done. And there's just so much growth, depth, and detail here with this album. Musically, it's just a force to be reckoned with. And there is just a lot of fantastic musical stuff going on here. Lots of creative and over-the-top riffs to be heard throughout this album. You hear it on tracks like Luciferian Sovereignty, the title track, and then later on with songs like Codex Obscuritas, and the self-titled track. They have a song called Necrowretch at the very end of this album, which is pretty damn cool. But musically, it is just so pleasing to the ears. Lots of killer riffs, lots of killer solo stuff, lots of intensity going on here with these riffs, and it definitely sounds awesome. The bass work is very nice too. It definitely holds its own amongst the heaviness that is the guitar riffs throughout this entire album, but I definitely think both the guitar work and bass work are very well mixed and mastered here on this album. The drumming on here is very awesome too. Love the blast beats. Love how this snare sounds throughout this entire album, especially for the fact that a lot of these songs are pretty lengthy in nature. Like the opening track, Pure Hellfire, you just get that really awesome feeling listening to the drums the minute the blast beats start to kick in and go crazier from there. And then later songs like the title track and Darkness Supreme, just some seriously top quality drum work going on here. I really, really love that. And when it comes to the vocals, I definitely think that the vocals on this album are absolutely insane. I love the growls, I love the reverbed echoes, the shouting. it's just straight up spewing venom from a pulpit. Basically, that's what I feel like that's what it feels like listening to the Ones from Hell when it comes to the vocal work. This vocal work is fantastic. You definitely feel the insanity and the depravity in this vocalist's voice. It's just insane. It's just crazy, and it definitely makes things more well-rounded the more you listen to it. So overall, like I said, I think this is the best thing Necrowretch has done to date. I think this is the band at their most serious, at their most growth. It's just an altogether fantastic death metal record. If you're into this band's current sound now, if you're into what this band sounded like before, you're going to fucking love the Ones from Hell. This is an absolutely beautiful record through and through, and I can't recommend this enough to anybody that's into blasphemous death metal. So, if I didn't think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Pure Hellfire, Luciferian Sovereignty, Codex Obscuritas, and the closing track, Necrowretch, is pretty nice too. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Necrowretch Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it by digitally and is available physically as a CD and 12-inch vinyl. Definitely lots of ways to get a hold of this album. So again, the album is The Ones from Hell from Necrowretch. This is released on Season of Mist. Definitely check this one out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very solid 9 out of 10. Definitely the best stuff I think Necrowretch has done to date, and I think you'll love it too. So, if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it, and how you think it compares to previous Necrowretch releases, or any of you guys into Necrowretch, definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until next time, Armijo out.